What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I have my buddy who just hit Plat 1 with his Shaddoll Invoked Dogmatica list. Went through quite the tear on the ladder, ended up going 12 and 4 to hit his rank up, and we just wanted to share it with you today. Go ahead and take it away, Colby.
Colby, and here I play Shaddoll Invoke to get into Platinum 1 after like switching around with many decks, just struggling like with a lot of matchups. I just felt like Shaddoll Invoke had like just a lot of like too many good cards that like just won you the game many times.
Yeah, Schism is pretty hard to out,
Schism is pretty hard to
and
out.
it's pretty easy to set up in this deck.
Yep, it is. Alright, so let's get on through this. So let's start with the Invoked Engine. We're maxing out pretty much on 3 Alistair, 2 Meltdown, and the 2 Invocation. 3 Invocation is obviously really bricky. I don't have Terraforming yet because I can't afford it. So yeah, so we're actually only playing technically 5 copies of Alistair instead of 6. Then we should be able to, but it's fine. That the fifth to sixth copy doesn't matter that much in the end, but it's okay. Next our Shaddoll Engine, we're playing 2 Wendy and basically one of each of the rest of the good ones. So the Hedgehog, the Squamata, the Dragon, the Beast, and the Aerial. Aerial is some key right now because Graveyard Disruption is so important, especially with everyone playing like Eldritch. All other people also playing out Invoke decks as well. Tri-Brigade, mess up the graveyards. Lusk. Everything revolves around graveyard. And then Wendy's just like the best one to play it too because one, it works really well with App Clone because it's a different attribute, like it's not dark, and you know Summon from deck's really good.
Did you ever feel like you were really missing the second copy of Ariel? Because there really are a ton of decks right now that need their graveyard to play the game.
Oh yeah, yes. Sometimes I felt I missed it, but like 1 was enough, I'd say. But if 2 is like playable, yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Next we move over to our Dogma engine. We maxed out on 3 Ecclesia, 1 of the Flora Maximus, and the 1 Nadir that we can play, and the 1 Punishment just in case. So nothing like too special. Like looks pretty standard.
Was the
our hand?
Sorry, go ahead. You can continue.
Okay. And then we have our hand traps, or going second cards. We have our 3 Ash, 2 Maxi. Can't craft the 3rd one yet. And the Veiler works out really nicely because it's a light, so it works out for Construct or Mechaba. And I have I also threw with the Pank, the Lightning Storm that everyone gets, Solemn Judgments because you know it's just good stuff. And yeah, a lot of the things that free-to-play players get a lot for free. And then for our spells, we have the 3 Shaddoll Fusion because this card's broken. The 1 L because it comes because it's just another copy of Polymerization for us. And for back removal, I decided to play 2 Twin Twister because everyone's playing Eldritch. And basically, yeah, that's the main deck. Extra deck, we have our 1 Intis for the Dogmatica stuff, 2 Winda, 1 App Clone, 2 Construct for Shaddoll stuff. Pretty like normal. 2 Constructs, very important. The 1 App Clone. I don't have a second one, but like definitely play a second one if you have it for sure. And then we get on to our Invoked stuff. We have the 1 Burger Trio. Yes, I'm not playing the Owl Mirage, Secure Guard and stuff, but everyone has Ash Blossom because for sure everyone got one for free. So like this is coming up no matter what. The 1 Glaze to help beat over pop stuff that like you kind of really can't beat over, and the 2 Mechaba because Mechaba is Mechaba. And then for our Dogmatic extra deck, we're also just playing the 1 Titanclad and the Pegasus. And our Link monster is playing the Gravity Controller, so we can link off our Shaddoll monsters in the EMZ to trigger all their if there's something graveyard effects. So usually it's gonna be App Clone, so you could search your Schism. Like let's say you hard draw Wendy and a different thing. And Alistair, you can actually just like invocation those two for a Abclone, or just Doll Fusion for it. And then so you trigger all your effects with their fusion, and then you link it up and you get your Abclone to get into Schism, which is free. The Artemis, usually this would be Secure Guard or Almirage for Alistair, but since we're playing a lot of dolls, this is more catered towards the Shaddoll engine because we can just normal summon a Shaddoll and just link into Artemis, and that gets us into our light for Construct. And then the Verite, obviously, because we're playing Shaddoll Fusion. This card's broken. And yeah, that's basically the deck.
Nice. I see also that you have like the one copy of Eldritch the Golden Lord in here.
Yes, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, this card has a shocking amount of synergy in the Shaddoll deck.
Yeah, so it is a light target for Construct because there's not really any good lights in this deck besides Ecclesia or Veiler. Like, we don't really want to send those. Like, the Dogma stuff we want to keep in hand. The Veiler will also want to keep. There's no good light targets besides Eldritch Golden Lord. Because back in the day, we used to play this card called... I can find it. Electromagnetic Turtle. This was literally the best target for lights, like, back in the day. But
in like 2015 or 2016,
like,
right?
Like 2015. But yeah, we've evolved. Eldritch Golem is really cool because in the late game, once you like go through all your Shaddolls, you have a bunch of like spare like Shaddoll fusions potentially in hand. Like you can just ditch them for a Golden Lord, and you can send them to send them back for the Golden Lord. Also, you can just send Meltdown. Like there's a situation like Meltdown's broken in the fact that like you can't do anything on summons. So, like when you summon a Guades or Shaddoll, you can't chain anything. But like there's comes to a point where like that protection is not needed. So yeah, sometimes you just send the free Meltdown to summon a Golden Lord.
I know that you can also play Fairy Tale Snow in that like one of Flex light spot. Have you thought about playing that card?
That's the other that's probably the other best option. Honestly, honestly better than Golden Lord. I just don't have it.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if it was a little bit too hefty of a cost to keep 7 engraved, because you kind of like cycle things around a lot.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit hefty, but also on the other hand, like Golden Lord is also just better spot removal going second if you hard draw it than Snow.
Yeah, the
because
ability
usually
to...
one can be your normal summon to Alistair.
Yeah, it's really good that you have basically that free recurable out to any floodgate like every single turn too. That is pretty good.
But you can still just send it off from hand with Invocation by banishing Alistair and sending this from hand still. It's just a little like awkward.
Okay.
Alright, and
yeah.
referring to his extra deck real quick, so I was a little bit iffy on the extra deck, because at one point I was playing the Cross Sheep and the Unicorn for extra removal, because there's plays where you can link in the Cross Sheep and then you flip your aerial face up with the Resh Shaddoll. So the specials, so what happens if you banish Resh and Construct? So then when you flip the aerial, you special back Construct to the Cross Sheep zone, which then triggers Cross Sheep, because it only says if a monster is summoned to that zone, not like if a monster was fusion summoned to that zone, or like for any of the other effects. It just refers to what it points to, but any summon. So yeah, basically this was just a way to ladder like Cross Sheep into Unicorn, but like honestly the Verite just comes up way more.
Okay. Yeah, and if you guys are interested in seeing more Cross Sheep combos that you can do with that, there's a ton of them on this channel. They're a little bit dated at this point because they were made a couple years ago, but a lot of the stuff still applies, and there's some really cool interactions that you can get into, like activating the effective Cross Sheep as Chainlink 1 and then Construct as Chainlink 2, so that you can special summon the card you ban or send off a Construct all in the same sequence. Colby and I are actually like crafted a lot of those combos that you see on the channel, and they're like cool ways to get into Halka Fibrax and pivot into other stuff as well. But it is very extra deck heavy to play those lines. Looking at the main deck, I mean, looking at some of the other lists I've seen for Shaddoll, Dogmatica, Invoked, they're really, it's less the Shaddoll and more the Invoked Dogmatica stuff. How do you feel that this deck stacks up to that version? Because you're playing a lot more fusions, you're playing even more fusion spells than them. Yeah, I don't know if they even play the Ray Shaddoll in the other builds.
Yeah, so one problem is you're more prone to bricking, because like sometimes you open like one doll, hand traps, no Alistair, and then like the Shaddoll monster just kind of bricks in hand. But then we're also at the point where it's a best of one format, and just resolving Winda just wins you games.
Hmm.
So, like, if it was a best of three, definitely just play the less doll version. But since we're in the best of one format, like, Winda's just broken.
Hmm. So the ability to
Not
more consistently get access to Winda, you think edges it out
yeah,
over that variant?
because basically you're putting your opponent on having the out to it, which is very far in between. Like, because not many people are playing Chalice, Book of Moon, except for budget options.
Hmm.
Like, it's mainly just like droplet, and not everyone has droplets because they're more focused on getting their Ash Blossoms and Maxis and such. More staple hand traps compared to droplet.
Yeah. I've been noticing more and more that people are crafting into Max C, but then they don't actually have anything legitimately scary to draw off their Max Cs, which
Yeah,
will probably be less of a thing as time goes on, but for now, it really feels like you don't actually get that punished by Max C if you overcommit and kill them.
yeah, that's actually one of my problems. One of my 4 losses was playing its Atlantean Mermaid Water, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it's like I maxed him and he just OTK'd me
He said,
because like I didn't draw into Ash, Valor, and I don't have like that the stack of hand traps in the deck to actually draw into to stop my opponent.
mm-hmm. Think it's worth it to play the one of Nibiru, like, just in case?
Oh
So,
yeah, it would definitely because on the other hand, it's also light
yeah.
if it comes down to it.
Worst comes to worst. Yeah. Discard it off Twin Twisters, banish it from the grave for Alistair or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Twizzlers is also just actually nice for getting stuff in graveyard. I think I still rather play Cosmic over this though, but I don't have Cosmics, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have Cosmics.
I don't know.
I could craft it right now, but
I haven't crafted them either, even though Eldritch is everywhere. I just have been playing my Twin Twisters because it's felt more impactful to hit multiple cards. Um,
mhm.
but yeah, so looking at the deck, what are some of the deck's best matchups, worst matchups? What does it have a hard time dealing with? Things like that.
So this deck honestly deals really well against Eldritch because like one, Winda stops like Sanguine, like Golden Land plus Sanguine plays
Hmm.
because they can only summon once. Not to mention like you can banish the Golden Lord with Alistair and such. Uh, Schism could actually there many times where like I would just like flip the game plan and just keep Schism to summon a construct to send Golden Lords. And yeah, that's kind of just basically it. You can kind of just outgrind Eldritch, and especially if they flip Skill Drain, since you're more graveyard based, you can actually just kind of play through Skill Drain.
Yeah, you've got the inherent deck outs like I guess they don't really summon from extra deck too much, but like the
No,
dragon in the main
yeah, the
deck.
Shaddoll Fusion is kind of like dead versus them
Yeah.
because no one actually like the moment they know you're playing Shaddoll, they don't link into deck links or that kind of stuff to get their gold lands to grave,
Hmm.
which is kind of a little bit annoying.
Yeah, you just
But
kind of
yeah,
have to play it slow.
yeah, you really just have to play it slow, and you can do that honestly with Shaddoll invoked.
Okay.
Because like you're setting monsters if they're trying to pop and they're floating into other effects, which is like really nice. You have like infinite recursion with, or not infinite recursion, but like a real like a good for a lot of recursion with the Shaddolls.
Hmm. Yeah, being able to like link off your Shaddoll monsters, get your free spells back for Golden Lord too is also really nice
And
because
honestly,
it's all free
now
advantage.
now that I put in this Pegasus in the extract, like versus Eldritch, they conk me. It's so much nicer now.
Then when you shuffle it back into the deck, oh yeah, you just shuffle the.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
I can
what is the
shuffle
trick? What is the trigger for this card?
if a card you control is destroyed.
Oh, so if they conk you, you get to shuffle
Yeah.
back their Golden Lord, or
Yeah.
something, or the
Uh,
the conk itself, so they don't float.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of playing through skill drain, one of my matches was playing against True Draco.
Ooh.
So, so he activated Necro Valley against me, which turns off Schism, but I chained the Schism before Resolve, so I negated with the App Cologne,
Hmm.
which is like nice. So at that point, and then he had 3 back row. He flipped Skill Drain IO against me. I'm like, dang,
There's
that's pretty good.
sometimes they're just that good.
But you can actually play through the Skill Drain with Schism. So what happens was there was a time where at that game I flipped some of the Shaddoll piece I said earlier off the Wendy, and then he chained Skill Drain. What happened was I chained Schism effect to banish the summon Winda, so that means Shaddoll Beast was off board and would resolve.
Hmm. So you still get your draw 2, discard 1.
Yes, yeah, because I had Maxi in hand. Like that card's dead versus True Draco.
Super dead.
And then I did the same thing with Ecclesia. Normal Summon Ecclesia. Schism effect to go for Construct banishing the Ecclesia. This is the ways you like. Yes, the deck already inherently plays through skill drain, but this is how you can play around skill drain even more, which is really nice because yeah, we already have the inherent out with the one dragon, but like just being able to get to your like progress your engine faster than a True Draco can like recover its resources is really nice.
Yeah. There's also some like tricky plays you could do with Shaddoll in the graveyard as well, right?
Yeah, because
Because it books a card.
Yeah, because it books a card. So yeah, many combos involve flipping your monster face down or face up that you summon for 1D, but the Book of Moon has a lot of utility.
Dude, I forgot this card had this effect until you brought it up to me the other day.
It's insane.
I've been-
Actually, I have some duels to show off that like involve that Book of Moon effect.
Yeah, we'll definitely show those off.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think we covered the Eldritch match pretty thoroughly. How do you feel about some of the other matchups like Zodiac Tri-Brigade, Virtual World, Drytron?
I mean, to be fair, most of those matchups are solved by Winda.
And them just not having the droplets.
Let's not cure ourselves here. Tri-Brigade also just struggles inherently to an extent. Like, let's just say like Pure or Zoo Tri-Brigade purely struggles to extend. So like a Mecha plus anything else would stop the turn.
Yeah, that's
basically.
true. They have
because Tri-Brigade's main strength is being play a one-card engine with hand traps.
Yeah, you
But
do
like,
have a
let's
lot
just
of
say,
stops
but if they
in this
draw
deck.
all like engine, then like it's really hard for them to play. Now, if we're talking about Lurelesque on the other hand, that's a little bit of more struggle. Obviously, when to solve that problem. But at that point, you kind of just have to read the hand. Like, you know, ashing the bird call is kind of a little bit obvious. It seems, but like the problem with Lurelesque Tri-Brigade is you kind of just have to pray that they don't have
The extenders.
the outs.
Yeah.
All the extenders, all the outs. Yeah, it's one of those decks. It is a problem.
Okay.
But and Drytron, you lose the dire roll, then you lose. Drytron's Drytron. It's rough.
Okay. Yeah, Drytron. You just have to hope they click the wrong buttons. Like.
But if you go first, you can like you can slow down the game. You can slow down the game state. Aerial banish like the Zeta, the Minionis. Like you can basically, if you like get past one turn, Aerial can just completely get rid of the graveyard and like you're good for the rest of the duel.
Okay. Looking at this deck now, what are some of the major upgrades you think you would want to like take this deck to the next level? I think you were talking about some concessions that you had earlier where you like didn't have the cosmics or the terraforming, but are there any other cards that you would like to play in this deck that you just don't have access to right now?
I took this out of the deck earlier. It was Raijin actually from the extra deck because I wanted to make room for another Dogmatica target here. And I know it's because I can't always summon this Burger Trio because I don't have the Almirage, but this card comes with too much OTK.
Yeah.
This card only came up because I was playing against Lurelesque and like I completely forgot I took this out from the extra deck, but I still won that game. So like, it matters and it doesn't matter at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard because Purgatrio can like be a Zeus sometimes.
On the other hand, this card would definitely be in the main deck for sure if I had
Super
Poly.
Oh yeah, you just summon your Alistair Super Poly.
Normal summon Alistair, effect, they try to negate, and then you just go chain Super Poly like on the statue so you can summon Raijin. This is the only reason like Raijin would be for sure in the extra deck, but I don't have Super Polys.
So you could out like the Ensemble or something?
Ensemble, the statue, like everything.
That's
like,
true.
But, you could even like Super Poly the F-Zero into Makaba.
Oh yeah, it's a light monster. Yeah, so it just has a good variety of things that you can use in this deck because of the Invoked Engine. Okay.
Fine enough, it's only just the one light and the one fire right now. But yeah, or the one wind layer.
Can you use
a light is so like
Agoides is a monster, an extra deck monster, right?
Huh?
Wait, what is the?
Ways? No, fusion.
Oh, I'm thinking of Elysium, aren't I? Elysium says a monster summoned from the extra deck.
Elysium.
Yeah. I can't believe they made that card the ultra rare. That seems a little silly, but
I know. Makaba should be Macabre is the animation too,
Thomas.
by the way.
Oh, that's funny. I guess we wouldn't know if Elysium has it because
We never
I've
played
never
it.
seen it be summoned. um. Okay.
Any
Yeah.
other upgrades would definitely be like Nibiru in here over like the Pankratops.
Hmm. Okay. Pankratops isn't
But
bad
no,
though.
I got just put in like what I had in here like for like generic staples, and then the engine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's basically it.
All right. You have any final thoughts you wanted to share about this deck?
Yeah. So it's a very like low ceiling deck until you draw your Dogmatic cards. Like if it's just Alistair, then it's just Alistair into Macabre. Maybe you draw 2 dolls and it results in like Schism plus Macabre. But like the moment you draw your Dogmatic, it kind of just goes overboard. So at a very bottom line, it's very simple board to make Macabre, and then you kind of just have to like outplay your opponent, know like kind of like know the ceiling of your opponent's deck. So it's a very like skillful deck in that like you have to know what you're doing. And then when you get to your high ceiling and you make Winda, then it kind of just gets a monkey flip.
It's a high skill if you brick. Low skill
It's high
if
skill
you
if you
summon
brick,
Winda.
yes.
Oh man. All right, cool. Oh yeah. For the Dogmatica stuff. No, actually, it's fine. I was just gonna bring up Fleur de Lis. I've seen a lot of people make mistakes with that card on the ladder, where they use that card like they way too early. I don't think I think there's a lot of players who don't actually fully understand how this card works. But
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players summon this without a Dogmatica, so it doesn't negate anything.
mhm.
I've seen players summon this off Titanic Cloud's effect, which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah. Wait until they have something you want to negate on the field, and who's potentially chain blocked, like a Sharig. Fleur de Lis can negate the Sharig effect, and that's kind of what you want to hold it for in the Tri-Brigade matchup.
And reminder that this card does not target.
And Fleur de Lis does not target, which makes it really cool, because it can basically bust chain blocks, and then it can also hit stuff that can't be targeted, which I'm blanking on right now what cards that actually is relevant. Chaos Max Dragon? You won't lose to Chaos Max Dragon.
Restyle Starling made by Cobalt Sparrow. That is the big one.
That's a good one, yeah.
That is a big one, but usually you're just gonna get the Warbler anyway at that point.
Yeah.
But sometimes you go normal summon Ecclesia, add Fleur de Lis, because you bricked.
Because you bricked.
And that means at that point you have to negate the recital ones because they're making your extract monster for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I had a game where I negated the Moo Beta and like it completely like just bricked him because one he couldn't send and he couldn't and then two he lost 2 extra ritual materials, basically.
Ooh, right, because he can't use the effect to detach to substitute.
Yes.
Okay.
And other than that, it's basically just a negate.
And it's a big body too. Floor is actually really scary.
Yeah, Floor is a big body, making your other Dogmatic just
Mhm.
actually bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate the thorough breakdown of the deck, along with some of the matchups that it, or like how to play against some of the matchups. We'll cover a little bit more in the replay videos. Other things that we wanted to showcase with this. Is there anything before we sign off here, Colby?
Nope, I think that's really it. It's a very simple deck with a linear line, a linear plan, and you just have to execute it. That's basically it.
Yeah, and I can attest that this deck is pretty fun as well. Very consistent, a lot of powerful one card like things to get you off the ground. Alistair's a +1 every turn. The Ecclesia gets 2 your +1s. Should always help you in your long game. So overall, I think it's a pretty cool deck. Relatively easy to get into, I think, because the play lines do not get too complex at like the lower level.
Yeah, just a little bit expensive because this extra deck.
Yeah, except the extra deck is a little bit expensive. That being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.